session. Please quickly remind them we are 17 now. Let's see if we can hit 20 in 1 minute, and then we can just fly. I would also like to say that we are live on Facebook. All right. So should you have anyone who for any reason would prefer that channel, please kindly inform them so that they can join us on that platform as well. We are 19 now. Let's see who's doing. The 20th person is going to be 20 already. Beautiful. All right. So once again, you are all welcome. You are all welcome. Just a little bit, please. Oh dear. My device will not mess me up tonight. It will not. All right. Okay. All right. Good. I need to initiate the recording. Okay. We are now live and recording. I'd like therefore to say to everyone who is joining that we are recording this training session. Therefore, if you aren't comfortable with that, you are free to kindly exit this training. Once again, we are recording this training session. Therefore, if you are not comfortable with that, please kindly exit the session. Thank you. Once again, my name is Moses Adio, and I'm glad to be here with you tonight. We have our facilitator already seated, and you probably can already see his face. Tonight's left training session is on the subject of getting to the top and remaining there. Getting to the top and remaining there. And we trust we're going to have a beautiful time together tonight. Our facilitator is an amazing fellow that we should really want to learn from, and I believe that we are going to get a pack or a load of treasure value from the session tonight. Please kindly open up your heart. And I also need to mention that in the course of the session, you need to take notes and highlight the questions that you might want to ask, because shortly after, as soon as he's done presenting and blessing us with the values, we will be opening the floor for questions. So kindly note your questions as we begin. Our facilitator is he was born on 10th October 1990 in Lagos, Nigeria, and he grew up in the Surulere area of the city. He has 5 siblings. In 2008, at the age of 17, he moved to Wichita, Kansas on a basketball scholarship where he attended Sunrise Christian Academy. In 2010, he moved to Miami, Florida after being recruited by the University of Miami basketball team, where he played 4 seasons, eventually switching to play American football as a graduate student in 2014 and gaining a place at the Miami Dolphins rookie training camp in 2015. He holds a bachelor and master's degree in mechanical engineering. Beg your pardon. Promoted by CES Boxing and trained by former world champion Glenn Johnson. He made his professional debut on 14 September 2018, scoring a first-round technical knockout victory over Omar Acosta at the Twin River Event Center in London, Rhode Island. Following another first-round technical knockout win over James Advincola in November, he scored 3 more first-round stoppage wins in 2019, a knockout over Leo Cassiani in June, and another over Joan Lopez in July and Jose Pulido in August. His first fight of 2020 was a second-round win against Mike Ford in January. Tonight, we are going to be blessed by this brilliant mind named Raphael Akpejiori. Please, let's put our hands together. He's not going to speak immediately because there's something I skipped. I'm going to beg your pardon, but please, at the same time, let's put our hands together to just give him a welcome. Can we just give him a round of applause to welcome him? And then we'll take what we haven't taken before he takes the microphone. Can we do that very quickly? Okay, I see the clapping in the chat area. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's have some more. Let's have some more. Let's have some more. Let's have some more. Thank you. All right, thank you. So just before I give our facilitator the microphone, I apologize that I skipped our opening prayer. All right. Maybe I was just overly excited about what the value we're going to receive tonight. So let us pray, please. Our dear God, we thank you for the privilege we have tonight to be again on this platform, to be edified, to be blessed. We ask that you open up our hearts so that as we receive, as we listen, we'll have the heart to understand. We are able to assimilate, and we're able to convert what we hear to instructions and key points of action points that we can work on immediately and translate into progress and success in our lives in the name of Jesus. We thank you because you are going to speak to us and we will be blessed. Thank you, Father. In Jesus' name we have prayed. Amen. So that's how I pass the microphone to our facilitator tonight, Mr. Gabriel. I need to say, maybe I said it on the general platform just before we started, that maybe timeliness is one of the secrets to getting to the top and remaining there, because our facilitator actually did that very well. I think he got on board, on this platform about 9 minutes before the commencement time, and that is laudable. Let's put our hands together again as he now takes the microphone. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. I'm not as important as you guys make me sound. I'm just one of everybody. I just happen to have been blessed with opportunities and taking advantage of the little things that I've been given. So please, I beg, nobody should think I'm better than anybody. I'm just a guy. But I just want to say thank you to everybody, and thank you for the platform that you've offered me to speak, to share my story, and to encourage, support with my words, and um, to support with my words, and say, it's gonna be well with us. What'd you say, John? Sorry. Um, so yeah, I'll say this, my life is one, I would say, of, as it's put in here at this first page, a life one of faith, resilience, and excellence. My life started with faith, growing up as a kid. I always had faith that I was going to be something. My dad wanted me to be a soldier because I believe I was born in the time when Babangida was the president. So that was a guy he liked a lot. I wanted to then be an aircraft pilot because I lived in Surulere, and we see flights all around, and we always wished that it would take us to America one day. So that's how my American dream started, just watching planes take off and on. Also moved to Yanapaja. Whoever's living in Lagos will know where Yanapaja is. And Yanapaja is really close. It's every morning, where we lived, we see all the flights coming from London. So I could tell what flight would be coming at what time every morning, just standing out. So I had those dreams of the United States. So I had a lot of faith growing up that I was going to be something. The next part of life I thought about, that I was just thinking about in writing this and putting this together, was one of resilience. Resilience is, as beautiful as that word sounds, resilience really means suffering. Sorry, it doesn't mean suffering. It can only be gotten from suffering. I believe the owner of the CEO or the director of ChatGPT said one thing that he wishes everybody is a life of suffering, because only through suffering can resilience be built. And if you look at the life of every Nigerian in the United States, the reason we're successful is because that Nigeria as a country has suffered us, and it has done a very good job of teaching us that nothing comes easy. Put your head down through the grind and just let your eyes be on the prize. And that's what resilience is. Excellence, another thing for me. It's something that you might never get to, but you can always tend towards excellence. And that's something that I am always looking forward to being excellent in everything I do, excellent in my field, in my education, in my sports, in my faith, in my relationships. And excellence is an ongoing journey. And my goal is that when it's all said and done, and when my time here on earth is over, my family, my friends, and my God can say you've been an excellent servant. Of then you've excellently chased down and accomplished all the things that I've been here on earth to do. Um, so I'm just also going to start with my life. Obviously, I was born in Lagos, Nigeria. I was born in Surulere. I lived in um I lived in Body Thomas. From there, we moved to Port Harcourt. We moved to Transamadi, where my dad was transferred to head the bank in head the bank in the eastern region. Moved back, moved around from Port Harcourt. Moved back to Allen Avenue, Okwebi, Iju-Ishaga, Yanopaja. Before I came back to the United States, came to the United States and started a life for myself. Um, with my early life, my early life had a lot of values. My dad obviously was a chief, so we had a lot of those Edo State family values and principles that we grew up with. We were things we could not do. We had a lot of rules, lots of discipline in my home, and those are the things that most likely have shaped who I am as a person. You know what's wrong and you don't do what's wrong. You know what's right and you do what's right. I also grew up in a household. I also grew up in a house of a lot of faith. We had a lot of faith. Went to church a lot. I grew up in MFM Mountain of Fire Miracles Ministry. My dad was a part of it. My dad was also an athlete. He played for Bendel Insurance back in the day with the Shego Odegbamis, the Christian Chukwus, the Ball Bassis. So I had a natural talent or affinity for sports. My mother was also a track star. I believe she ran for Edo State in the sports festival, ran track for sports festival. And actually, I believe they also met at a sports, at a track event or a sports event back in the day. So I came from a family of sports. And also, I came from a family of personal growth. My dad was a banker. He ended up in the bank, running up some banks in Nigeria. And looking up to things like that, I'll realize that, I had a larger purpose in life. And I also had people, mentors and parents that could lead me or like that had a model for me to fashion my life towards. My journey, I would say, is fashioned with restoration, with purpose and ambition, just as explained. I've lost a lot of things. I've gained a lot of things. God has been faithful to me. He's restored, He's forgiven, and He's giving me second chances. I have a life of second chances. I've failed in so many things, but as long as I've kept my eyes on the prize and kept my eyes on God, God has been faithful to me and He's helped me. Um, I have a foundation of faith and resilience. I mean, the truth is this, man, you can't do nothing without God. You can't do anything without God. You can feel good with the way you're going, but somewhere in the front, God will show you that He's the man and He's been with you the whole time, or He's been watching you misbehave the whole time. And with Him, you tend to always realize that He's always going to give you a second chance. He's a God of second, third, fourth chances. He's a God of restoration. I've overcome a lot of challenges to restore through prayer, perseverance. When I came to the United States, Michael Jordan signed my letter for me to go to the United States, for me to come to the United States. Um, I played basketball. I started by playing basketball on the streets of Yanapaja. From there, I played basketball. I got better, played basketball at the Air Force Base in Ikeja. From there, um, I went to this NBA basketball camp that they had. I was taken to one of the top six players on the squad. Went to South Africa on my first international trip to the Basketball Without Borders event. I believe I was the MVP of the Africa there. Me and a guy from Senegal were now invited to New York City, Madison Square Garden to be lead to be the flag bearers for Africa for basketball in that game. That was my first voyage to the United States. I played in that game. From there, I got a high school to Wichita, Kansas, where I then went to Sunrise Christian Academy. Basketball then took me to college, paid for my college, gave me a 4-year scholarship where I played for the University of Miami. The University of Miami, we played in the NCAA tournament, where we actually made it to the Sweet 16 in the world. At one point, we're ranked number two ranked basketball team in the country. I mean, we're top two best basketball teams in the country. And after my basketball career was over in college due to injuries, I transitioned into the football team where I played football. I played American football for about a semester, where I then went to the NFL. I don't know if a lot of you know what the NFL is, but it's a National Football League for American football here. Played football for a training camp. I didn't make the final 53 roster. And I took my degree like every normal person would, and found a job as an engineer. I worked for a while, and I realized that I didn't find fulfillment in just going to work in the morning and come back at night and sleeping, and then going to some happy hour where I'll go drinking. And I started boxing. I never knew boxing would take me this far, or reopen new doors for me, or create something special for me again. And I started boxing. Little by little, I started realizing I was good and I actually could be better. I found myself in the top 100 in the world boxers, and I fought for the NABF title last year. It's the North American Boxing Federation title. So basically, it's two steps below Tyson Fury, which is the WBC heavyweight champion, who was the WBC heavyweight champion at that time. I lost the fight, obviously, which was quite sad. But just like I said, I'm not perfect. For the first time ever, I lost the fight, and I lost it on national TV. Actually, I lost it on international TV because all of the United States, Europe, and Africa was watching, which was quite embarrassing. But I picked myself up and I started again. I started that new transition again. Well, all, what I'm trying to what I'm trying to portray here is the fact that you know God has a plan for everybody's life. When I started playing basketball, the reason why basketball did not work out for me was because I had a very, very terrible injury on my ankle, where basically my ankle snapped in half. I was not supposed to ever be able to actually walk again, but God got my legs back, and not only did I walk, I ran. Not only did I ran, I played sports, and I'm still playing sports 16 years after my injury that was going to hurt me and end my career or end my abilities to work. But all in all, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for everything that he's done for me. Um, One thing that I've also realized is education. While I was in college, I really took advantage of the opportunities that I was given. Um, as a Nigerian, one of the resilience aspects is that our parents do not allow us to go to school for things that make us feel good. You either have to be a lawyer, you have to be a doctor, you have to be an engineer. You have to be something that when rubber meets the road, you're going to be able to feed yourself and your family with. So despite the fact that I was a basketball player and my school was paid for with basketball, being an engineer was one of the requirements of my parents, which I fulfilled that requirement. While I was playing basketball and playing football in college, I also happened to get my Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering. I got my master's degree in mechanical engineering, and also I got an additional economics degree, Bachelor of Science in Economics within the 5 years I was there. Just like I mentioned, when I got cut by the Miami Dolphins squad, I I had to clean up those degrees and go find a job. Though as low paying as the job was, it was the best thing I could get at that time simply because of the degree that I had. And that degree has actually gotten me to a better place today because as of today, I'm an energy manager for one of the major corporations in the United States. Actually, I work for Citigroup, if you've heard of Citibank before. So I actually manage all their portfolio across North America and help them achieve net zero status. Basically, the keyword there is sustainability in engineering. So I ensure that all their buildings are operating in a very, very energy efficient manner. They're not spending a lot of money with electricity, water. They're minimizing their waste usage. They have great indoor air quality for all the attendants in their facility, all the occupants of their place. And that's what education has done for me. Also, education has helped me in the sense of, in addition to the fact that I'm an athlete, a current, consistent athlete, and present athlete that is being recognized. It also it brings value addition to the fact that what I do is, people think it's it's amazing, which to me is just me doing my work. Um, I don't want to say this is a key, but I just want to say one thing I've always done is I've always reemphasized the fact that God, we need to acknowledge God in everything we do, because I see life as a life of ebbs and flows. Ebbs in the sense of it stays high, flows in the sense that it stays low and high sometimes. It can stay low on the bottom, or it can stay low at the top. But also one part we need to also remember is that there is a decline, there's an incline, and through it all, you know, we need to acknowledge the fact that we have a man up there who created us, who knows us, who has formed us, who knew our name before we were born. Um, there's something I tell myself every day, especially when I'm having a hard time or having hard times. There's a story in the Bible when God told Moses, He said, "Go, and I will be with you." You know, Moses obviously started giving excuses. Oh, I can't talk well. Oh, I'm not capable. And God got tired and said, okay, you know what? I'm going to give you your brother Aaron. But the part where we need to realize is that when God told Moses to go, He never gave Moses the details. He only said, "I will be with you." And if you read the whole story of Moses and the Exodus, you realize that God was actually with him. God never told him that it was going to be a Red Sea to split. God never told him that there were going to be snakes that he's going to have to, drop his rods and they're going to turn to. God never told him that the children of Israel are going to piss him off and make him angry, where he's going to have to break scrolls. God never told him that it was going to be a plague. He just said, "Go and I'll be with you." And I want everybody here today to realize that, whatever you're going through in life, God is with you because He has given you life and He has said, "I will be with you." He will be with you. And my life is evident of the fact that God has been with me. I've been to the worst. I've been to the worst things in life, and also I've been to the best things in life. I have shaken the hands of world leaders. I have been in the same room with governors, presidents, but I've also been in the same rooms with the worst people in the world. I was just in Nigeria the other day, and I was in Oba Market in Benin the whole time. I've been to the worst things. I've been to the best things. But guess what? God is with me the whole time. So there are two scriptures I kind of want to highlight that, in my opinion, have and I'm sorry. I hope everybody. My guess here is that everybody is a Christian. I don't want to offend anybody as a Muslim, but I believe Islam and Christianity are brothers. We believe in the same God. So if I'm offending anybody with what I'm saying, please forgive me. But what the two scriptures I kind of focus on in my life are two scriptures, and those two scriptures I have kind of thought about since I was a kid. The first one is Jeremiah 29:11. It says, For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. And the second one I always try to focus on is Romans 8:28. And he says, and we know that in all things, God works for good and for those who love him and who have been called according to his purpose. All things, good, bad, frustrating, not frustrating, annoying, not annoying, they all work together for good. for those that love and serve Him. So, if there's something that you want to take away today, in whatever it is that you're going on with your life, just know, just memorize these two scriptures and know that it is well with my soul. Um, Turning to my boxing career, the boxing career is what is the present thing that I'm kind of going through right now. Like I mentioned earlier, last year I fought for the NABF title. If I had won that fight, obviously, um, if I had won that fight, I'll probably be the heavyweight champion of the world today, or I'll be fighting for a title today for the heavyweight champion of the world. But I did not win that fight, and I'm not a heavyweight champion of the world. Um, my career has been a career of ups and downs. There were so many ups, so many highs, but right now, and last year was a career of down. Um, I had some down in my career last year, and I'm right now I'm trending back on the way up. Losing was not fun. Losing was not fun at all. I had won and won and won, and one time that I was supposed to have won on the major stage, I lost. And like I say again, it was not fun. Obviously, I took home a lot of money, but that money did not make me happy. It made me extremely sad. Um, when I was speaking with my coach yesterday, and as crazy as it sounds, it's still that loss still haunts me to this day. And I was speaking with him today, and I told him I'm actually glad I lost that fight because if I had not lost that fight, the loss that would have been waiting for me in the future would have been way worse than the one I had had. Because I recall before then, I was the kind of guy that I had 15 fights, 15 knockouts. I think I had 14 knockouts at that time. And nobody could tell me anything because in my mind, I felt like regardless of what happens, I'm still gonna knock you out. But for the first time I met someone I couldn't knock out and I couldn't even win. So I wasn't listening that much, because I was already on my high as, you know what, I can do whatever I want, I'm gonna be okay. But I was speaking with my coach yesterday in training. I said, I'm actually glad I lost that fight because one, though I lost the fight, I think I won the fact that I'm actually listening to you now. I'm actually working. I have minimized all the nonsense that I do, and I've kind of put my focus on the key things that matter in boxing. Before before I lost that fight, I was doing all the sexy boxing training. I would do yoga here, I would do Pilates here, I would do this, I would do that, I would do sprint training. I'll be doing different types of runs. And my coach would tell me, hey, in boxing, the only run you need is a road work. Though you need to get your miles in. And I'll be like, you know what, I'm too big. I don't need to be doing all that. That's for the younger weight class. It's not for me. But after losing that fight, I started listening to my coach and I started doing my road work every day. Every day in the morning I'll wake up, I'll run for 40 minutes. Um 40 minutes, 4.5 miles, 8 30-minute miles, get my 500 sit-ups, get my full stretch, go to work, come back, and really listen to all the techniques that he was doing. And out of nowhere, within a month, I saw how my career just blossomed, my training, my everything blossomed. And it was glaring to everyone how much better I had gotten. And I say this story to say, in life, you don't really need a lot of things. You just need some of the real things, and you have to just focus on them. Um, they say too many cooks spoil the broth. When you put your hands in too many things, you really don't, you realize that you're not successful in anything. A jack of all trades is master of none. I think that's another thing that we talk about. You find yourself doing many things and you realize that there's nothing. But also, when you look at the life of the billionaires, you look at the life of the people that are really successful in what they do, the top athletes, the billionaires, they're not doing two things, they're doing one thing. Bill Gates, what does he do? Microchips. Dangote, what does he do? Cement. Um, who's my LeBron James, what does he do? Basketball. Tiger Woods, what does he do? Football. He's not doing football and basketball with engineering. No, he's just focusing on one thing and really, really putting your all in that thing, knowing that you're going to be fine. So that's another aspect of what I want to stress today. As a Nigerian, sometimes, life kind of finds a way to make us feel like we want to be able to do a whole lot of things. But let's try to always put our focus on one thing and trust God that in this one thing that we have chosen, we're going to be successful in it. Um, all in all, I just want to say thank you for giving me this opportunity. Um, I have a whole lot of things to talk about, but I hope that the things that I've talked about today have encouraged everyone here to, hone in on God, hone in on what you believe, have a lot of faith. Whatever suffering you're going through in life, just know that God is with you, and that suffering is building in you resilience, a lot of resilience, and always strive for excellence. So thank you very much, and I'm grateful to all of you.
Wow, wow. Thank you very much, Mr. Raphael. That has been a um great session, leading with a lot of value, a lot of impact, a lot of lessons. Can we all say thank you? Can we all say thank you to Mr. Raphael? Um, let's use the clapping emoji. Just give it up in the chat area. I know you have your questions noted already. I've noted mine. I think one or two. Yeah, about two now. So we'll be taking questions shortly, but let me see your appreciation to our facilitator very quickly before. Thank you. Yes, Gladys. Thank you, sir. Yes, Unyika. Yes, I see you. Yeah, let's keep it coming. Joe, thank you. Yes. Yeah, Jonas 16. Yeah, good, good, good. Let's have some more. Yeah, let's have some more. Yeah, good, good. Tuluashe patience. Yes, let's have some more. Yeah, Lasio Motile. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Let's have some more. Good, good. Thank you. All right, thank you. Bro Chinedu Okezie said that your points, the points of the facilitator hit him like boxing. Well, I hope you listened well. I hope it didn't hit you in any of your ears. All right, thank you very much. Thank you for all the appreciations. Yeah, that's good. All right, so we can begin to throw our questions now. Um, my co-host, our beloved sister Rose, will lead coordinate the session for the questions. I'll pass the mic over to her so she would take care of the presentation of the questions and all of that. Thank you very much. So Rose, are you there?
Yes, I am. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining. Thank you so much, Mr. Raphael, for such expository, insightful session. It was it was great, and I would have to agree with the other participant that said the points were actually hitting like blows because, well, they were well centered and well directed. So this is time for a question and answer. I don't know if anybody has any question. You can raise up your hands to ask your questions, or you could just leave them in the chat session so that we can take them. Any questions from anybody? Okay, Emeka, please unmute and ask your question. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Good evening. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, so Mr. Raphael, thank you so much for the section. It's really inspiring, and my eyes are on you. I'm hoping to see you at the top, beating Tyson Fury. You
Amen.
know, I'm a big fan of you right now. Like I'm a fan of you. I follow boxing, and you know, I love Tyson Fury, but having listened to you, of course, I'm your fan now, and I'll be watching out for you. So my
Thank you.
question to you is, I want to understand how you handle, uh, like for example, you want to do something and you have a very big fall. How do you how what goes through your mind, or how do you manage to come up and keep on running? What are the things you have to keep in mind? How do you battle your past that you were hit so hard and it looks like as if it's difficult to come back? Like, sometimes it's traumatic when you have a big fall. You be afraid, like, for example, you be afraid that you want to go back. You be afraid like you're going to fall again. So how do you keep your head high? How do you stay focused? Like that, so that's my question. I just need you to help me on that.
Well, I'll say this because we're all human beings, right? God made us with emotions. God made us with emotions. God made us with logic, reasoning. You have to understand. I was telling my mom something today, and I said in pidgin, I was like, nobody they really reason anybody on. Everybody has their problems, right? And the problem with falling is the embarrassment. When you fall, people feel embarrassed. But don't forget, the same way you're falling, that's how everybody else is falling, but they are not telling you. But you think because you're in your head, everybody's looking at you like, "Ah, this guy fell, man. He's a useless guy. What you have, the first thing is to realize that it's okay to fall. It's okay for a man to fall 7 times. If you fall 7 times, can you rise up 7 times? I think that's the real question. Um, you know, I have fallen before. I am currently in a falling state, and I'm also often a falling state. I've fallen very recently, and I'm rising up again, right? Um, I was watching a video of a guy who said they were driving on Third Mainland Bridge, and a nice car. A friend of his was just follow me on this one. A friend of his was driving. He was in the passenger seat, and a car came from the back and hit him from the back and damaged the car. They got down, they were raking with each other, paying my money, this one. They found a way to settle themselves. They got in the car and they started driving away. And while they were driving away, he was looking at his friend, and every time his friend was always looking at the side mirror. He has the rear view mirror. And in his mind, what he was thinking was the man was just replaying the scenario. When he went home and realized that regardless of how bad that accident was, you're gonna have to drive out of there, right? You're gonna have to drive to a mechanic shop. You're gonna have to drive home. You can't reverse what happened, but you can, and also you're not going to fix the car at the spot of the fall. You're going to fix yourself. If you get sick, because you ate something bad at home, you're not going to fix yourself at the kitchen where you ate something bad. You're going to have to get up and go to the hospital and fix yourself. You have to get up. When you don't get up, when you don't get yourself back up, that's where you have a problem. And it's okay to spend as much time thinking about the mistakes you've made, thinking about the wrong decisions you made, thinking about the fall, thinking about what you have done wrong. But the longer you stay there, the worse it is going to be for you. The longer you stay there, the worse you're going to realize. You're going to then realize that time is not on anybody's side, and everybody else falls just like you do. They just don't say it, and the fact that it's loud in your mind does not mean it's loud outside. So that's my advice for you. When you fall, get up again. The people say, I hope you don't fall on your face. I hope you fall on your back so that at least you can see the sun and get up to it. So I hope you fall on your face, on your back, so that at least you can see up and say, okay, you know what? I'm going to look around and find a way to get up. And also, when you fall, you just gotta pray to God, man, that God restores everything that you've lost in the process of your fall. That's my answer to you.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, sir. So I have another question, and it's saying, which of the factors you mentioned has contributed the most to your rise? Which of the factors you mentioned has contributed the most to your rise?
The factors that have contributed to my rise, I won't say it's one factor. I'll say it's 3 factors, and I believe I outlined them when at the start. I'll say it's faith. Faith is the fact that you know something is coming. You don't have it yet, but you're gonna get it. Resilience. As you're going through it, you're going to be hit. You're going to be fired by arrows. You know you're going to get something when you're there. Everybody else wants that thing, or everybody doesn't want you to get it. So they're going to try to find ways to hit you with it. And also excellence. You always strive for excellency. Those, to me, those are the 3 things that Those are the three factors that I know have contributed to my rise. They say the only way you can get resilience is suffering. You can't get resilience by speaking words of affirmation to yourself every morning. You can't get resilience by watching others suffer and building up. You can't get resilience from learning from other people's mistakes. You actually have to go through the fire yourself to realize how much it's going to burn you. I don't take advice from people who have never suffered. I don't. You have to have a degree of failure for you to be able to advise me on anything. I don't take advice from people who have had life to be rosy. So to me, I would say faith, resilience, and a strive for excellence are the three factors that have led um, to my life. Now, I know that that's a very, very abstract answer I gave you. It is, but that can be applied to everything that you put yourself in through. When you step in there, you have faith that this is going to work. You go through it. When you start a business, you go through it. You go through the ups and downs. You go through the good times, the bad times. You develop that resilience, and that resilience now leads you to excellence. You know that, okay, at the end of the road, this is going to be an excellent product and you're going to reach the level that you want to get to. So that's it for me.
Okay, thank you, sir. So now I have a question. I have two questions actually, personally. But let me start with the one that's less personal. So some people say it is lonely at the top, like after climbing the ladders, and then you have to get rid of distractions. Sometimes distractions can be in terms of friends, or there's a focus and there's a goal, there's resilience, and you're driven. And then you get to the top and it's kind of lonely in the sense that at the end of it all, the means didn't, I mean, the end doesn't justify the means because you do not have family, friends, people around you. So how do you walk around that?
That's a great question. I literally had that. I won't say literally, but I had that conversation with my dad this morning. Um, it is very lonely at the top. It's not a lie. The man who sang it, Ashake, it's actually very lonely at the top for him. It's very lonely at the top because if you notice, he doesn't have competition. If he's bringing out hits and hits and albums every day, the only way you're seeing, the only thing you're seeing is at the concerts, the dance times he's dancing. But the days you don't see are the days in the studio. The days you don't see are the days he loses his voice. The days you don't see are the days that he's in the gym working out so that he can be able to um, the days you don't see are the days that he's going to be working out and being in the gym all day so that he can be able to stand up and dance at a concert from the beginning to the end, where he's not tired of breathing or panting. The things you don't see are the clothes that he has to buy, or the times he's changing clothes at the back of the back of the stage. You don't see the travel, so it's a very very lonely process. With boxing, it's very lonely because for someone like me, I have to get up at 4:30 a.m. every morning, to be on the track at 5 a.m. running for an hour, doing sit-ups, doing push-ups, doing all those things, and the lights are not even on here on the track. You do that every day for months, but the days you see are the promo videos. The days you see are the days in the ring or after the ring or the day you go celebrate or raise up a belt. So it's very lonely at the top. Sorry, what was the next level of the question again?
Yeah, so how do you manage that? Since
Oh,
you
how do you
already know
manage that?
this,
Yes, yeah. How do you manage that? You know that your eyes are on the prize. You have to keep your eyes on the prize. You know that it's all going to be good. My dad says this, if you don't do what you're going to do, your name is going to go into oblivion. Do you want that? No. Well, you better get up and go train. Nobody asked you to go and box. All of a sudden, you started boxing now. Your name has started going up now. Do you want to become a guy who did it for a little bit and dropped out because it was too hard? Or do you want to go become the guy whose name is going to be reigning from now till for the next 100 years? Or who everybody's going to be want to bear that name or one is going to want to be associated with it. So it's lonely. You have to keep your eyes on the prize. You have to know that if you keep going, you're going to be something on earth. By the time you leave this earth, people are going to speak about you. People, your name is going to mean something. And that's how you have to manage it, knowing that at the end of the day, there's light at the end of the tunnel. And once you succeed in what you do, it's going to open the floodgates for the next level of your life, all the good things come in your career. And also knowing that your destiny is tied to the success of everybody else's destiny. You know, one day God is going to ask you, "What have you done?" And He's going to say, um, "Your success or another man's success was tied to you being successful. Another man is not successful because you're not successful." So that is how you have to play it and ensure that you keep going. Just knowing that there's something bigger ahead in front of the line, at the end of the line for you.
Okay. All right. So before I go to my next second question, someone is asking, how do you pick yourself up and pave your way when you're stuck in your career? I know you've answered the first half of the question of how you can pick yourself up, but how do you pave your way when you're stuck in your career? So I think this doesn't only relate to your profession, I mean your boxing career, but other aspects of career wise. So how do you pave your way when you're stuck in your career?
I don't really understand that question, but I'm going to speak to it the way that I get it. And if I don't, please bring me back. So I believe the question is saying, how do you pick yourself or how do you pave your way when you're stuck in your career? I think what you're trying to say is that if you have a fall, when you have a fall in your career or when you have a setback, how do you wake up again? Like I said earlier, my prayer is that when you fall with your face up into the sky so at least you can see the sun. Um, you have to also always realize that there's something bigger than you. And you've also always have to realize that you're not the only one that has been stuck. You're not the only one that is failing. You're not the only one that has failed. There are people out there that have worked for 20 years, and in the year 20, they lost it all. So, as long as you have life, you have hope. And you always have to keep having that faith and keep pushing through. Get up every day, push through every day. I am stuck in my career. For example, I recall one time when I started as an engineer, I worked as an engineer for about 4 years, and I realized I was not going anywhere. And I got myself a professional engineering license, a PE license, basically the highest level of engineering you can get in the United States, where you can stamp documents. When I found my way to get that certification, it took me about a year to get it, study for it, get it right, and get it going. And I realized that after that, my career started going. You know, I became a energy specialist, energy manager. Now I'm going to become a senior energy engineer. You know, so you always have to find those little ways for you to go move ahead. You know, as long as you keep pressing forward, you're always going to meet somebody that will help you push forward, push yourself forward. So that's the best I can answer that question right now.
All right, great. That's well answered. And as a matter of fact, you also answered my second question because I was wondering how you manage being a professional boxer and being a mechanical engineer as well. So do you want to throw a little bit more light on that?
Well, life is hard and we got to feed. And boxing gives you a lot of money, but it doesn't give you a lot of money consistently. It gives you a lot of money for a very short time till you fight again. Um, how do you maintain being a professional? How do I maintain it? I was a college athlete. As a college athlete, you do two things. You work as an athlete, and also you have to go to class. So I took that model of wake up in the morning, train, go to class, do your thing, and then go to the field or go to the gym and be an athlete. So that's a model I kind of took after, and I've taken that to my professional life and created a lifestyle out of it. So it's unique to me. It's not something that is I push for everybody. I don't it's not fun because you miss out on a lot of things. You miss out on partying, you miss out on being a social person, you miss out on traveling, on vacations, and all these many nice things that the world has to offer. You miss out on womanizing if that's a thing that you do. You miss out on a lot of vices that are fun, but it's rewarding and it pays off at the end.
Okay, great, great. Okay, so we'll be rounding up in about 9 minutes or so. And before we round up, there's this one question. And Benjamin is asking, his question is, what were your fears and challenges in your success ladder? And how did you overcome them, even when you see yourself among the same people that you fail? What were your fears and challenges?
My fears and my challenges, my number one fear is that I'm not going to make it um, in the things that I desire to do. And my second fear is that time is going to run out. I'm still young in the boxing world. I'm 34 years old, which is still good for a professional heavyweight boxer. But based on the work that I've put together and where I'm trying to go, I feel like time will run out. So that's my biggest fear. But as long as I'm putting the work and putting everything into it, I believe I will be fine. What's the second question again? My challenges? Was that the second question?
Yes, I believe you've answered that, and that's more than enough. So
Okay.
yes, that's okay. So at this point, I do not think we have any other question for you to answer. So we thank you so very much for coming on tonight's edition of the YPF LEF fortnight training. It happens every fortnight, and it's a pleasure to have you join us today for tonight's session. Thank you so very much. And then before we close the curtain on tonight's session, I would like to especially welcome those who are joining us for the very first
Hello, 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 Miss Rose. Are you there?
time.
Hello, Miss Rose. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Please, okay, I see someone who is raising up their hands. Please, you can unmute and ask your question.
You were muted in the middle of
Thank you.
your
Thank you very
okay.
much. Thank you, Raf. My name is Isosa. My question is, um, I discovered you're also married to an NBA, a WNBA star. I want to just ask, is it in the line of your mom and dad being an athlete, you also choose to follow that path? That's on the one hand. On the other hand, athletes of in the same caliber as yourself, the likes of AJ, who is my very good friend, and Tyson Fury. I know there are some charity work they do to give back to the society. I want to find out, do you have anything of such currently in place for youngsters, young professionals in Nigeria, particularly, on how they can get to the next rung of the ladder? Do you have anything currently in place? If not, do you have any plans for that in the future? Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Actually, it's a great question you just asked. I didn't. I just found a girl. I liked the girl. I dated a girl. And I married a girl. It was blessed that the girl was Nigerian. So to me, I saw it as a win-win. You know, it's kind of hard in Miami, Florida, to find a Nigerian girl that you actually like and you have a lot of similarities. So I was blessed in that aspect. Um, it was a good thing that she was an athlete. It's a great thing that she was tall and she had the makeup of what I was interested in at that time. And like I said, it's turned out to be a blessing, and I hope to see what the future um, holds. When it comes to the charity endeavors, I actually do have a non-profit organization which is focused on education and sports in Nigeria. Africa, hopefully we can expand to all of Africa. But then the first thing we did this year, we completed that project in May. I started with the school that I went to. I went to a school in Edo State called the McChrysty Secondary School. I believe it's called the McChrysty International College now. I haven't been there in quite some time. I renovated a basketball court, which was just it was just in shambles at that time. So what we did was I renovated a basketball court, and we're going to be commissioning it hopefully very soon. We haven't really set plans, but hopefully we can commission it and start giving gifts to the kids. The reason why I did basketball was because basketball was something for me was a means for kids to. It's an easier way to get out of Nigeria and build something for yourself in the sports world than boxing. Boxing is a very, very tough way of life, and all I mean, in Nigeria, if you haven't eaten well, how are you gonna go start fighting? And the grind of boxing is something that is not really it's not something that we can push because of the level of funding we don't have in Nigeria. But for basketball, that's something that there's a lot of support going on for the sport, and it's much easier for the kids to en masse migrate to go get a good career for them in basketball in different parts of the world where they can now finally then give back to the society, give to their individual societies. They can help their friends, their families, raise their levels of life. A kid earning $100,000 or earning $500,000 in Europe a year can raise the standard of his family's life in Africa by in an amazing proportion. So that's why we're focused on basketball right now. And the hope is that as we've renovated that basketball court, we can now move to Benin. We can move to other smaller locations or smaller villages all across Edo State. We just secured a piece of land in Aginibode area where I'm from that we're going to build another basketball court, give a lot of basketballs to people, shoes, and just hopefully some talent can grow from there. And maybe within 3 5 years or maybe within 10 years we have a basketball superstar from that location that everybody can align with, and hopefully he can be able to raise the value of the society and also give back to his own family you know so that's what we're looking at, and that's what we've been doing. Money is a very, very huge it's a huge thing because it's a lot of personal donation that comes with all these charity work organization charitable endeavors, and a lot of my money has gone into it, and hopefully God keeps blessing me and I can keep putting a lot of my money into these initiatives.
All right, great. Thank you so much for those answers. They were really, really insightful. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. It's been amazing getting to the top and remaining there. And I'm so sure that we've been able to understand how it is to get to the top and also remain there. And we're so blessed and fortunate to have a facilitator who practically went through these steps and then by God's grace is remaining there. Okay, before the last question was asked, we wanted to welcome those who are joining us for the first time. So if you are joining us for the first time, you can unmute and just say hello so that we can hear you and then welcome you to the YPF-LEF family. Anyone joining us for the first time? Okay.
Hello.
In the absence, oh, hello, welcome.
Hello.
Thanks for joining.
Hello.
Hello, welcome. Yes, we can hear you. Welcome, 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 welcome. All right, so this happens every fortnight, so which means that we will be meeting again on the 11th of December. Of course, it's a Wednesday. So the 11th of December, we'll be meeting again. And our next training session is titled Managing Presenteeism at Work and Personal Life. And as you well know that the YPF-LEF Forum is a program designed for young professionals, of course, young at heart and young in mind, and also young people. So this forum is well designed for you. And like I always say, November is a very, very special month for recurring years and even this present year. So we also want you to know that the next session will be the last session for the year before we take a break and resume in 2025. So we do hope that you join us on the 11th of December 2024 for managing presenteeism at work and personal life. To close the curtain on tonight's edition, it is my honor and pleasure to welcome our father and our leader of the YP-LEF Forum, Pastor Olulade, to give us a closing remarks before we say our goodbye.
Thank you, Raphael. Tonight has been a very wonderful night. I love the way you just go ahead because you are talking reality of what really happens, unto you. Your life is an inspirational one, and I'm sure a lot of us have picked a number of things which actually is going to make us better because it's a story, of faith, a story of resilience, a story of excellence, which anyone can pick in whatever career in which it is. I am sure we are going to be meeting you up later on in life in order to ensure we also can tell you of how you have been, a success unto us. To everyone who has been a part of this team tonight, I am sure that all these things we are picking are things in which we are translating into action. It's been a good night. My note is full, and I'm still gunning also for the top. Don't mind my age. I am gunning for the top. Excellence is what I strive for every day. A blessed night to every one of you. Thanks for coming and looking forward to seeing you in the next edition.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Raphael. Thank you, team, for putting this together. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. So we'll meet again in a fortnight on the 11th of December. Thank you all. Have a blessed night. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.